Hi there, I'm Verified Champion Trader Kevin Davey, and today I'm going to give you an algo trading entry that works, and best of all, it's in today's markets. So let's get started. Before we get started, if you're not on my free email list for algo trading information, well, you should be. Just hit the QR code, type in the address you see on the screen, and you'll get signed up and you'll get this free mini S&P algo strategy. So in this video, I promise you that I'm going to give you an entry that you can use as part of your strategy development that actually works, that I've tested. And I'm going to show you exactly where it works. It's a combination of different bar sizes in different markets, but I'm going to show you all that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about how most people create strategies, because most people who are algo trading, they do it wrong. Okay, and it starts with how they're developing strategies. Most people, what they'll do is they'll take all their entries, all their exits, all their rules, they'll put them all together in a strategy, and then they'll take all their historical data. I showed 10 years or 11 years here, but some people go back to 2000 or whatever. They put all the data, and some people actually only do a couple months, which is actually worse, but they take all their data, they throw it in their backtest engine, whether it's TradeStation or NinjaTrader or Multicharts, Pro Real Time, whatever it is. And what it does is it just churns and does all combinations and figures out the best combination of parameters for the best profit or the lowest drawdown or whatever it is you want. But they get those best parameters and then they say, well, hey, that's worked the last 10 years, so I'm just going to trade that. If that sounds like you or something you've done, you don't do this. Because chances are, if you've done this before, you realize this is not a good way to go. And if you are doing it now, watch out before you go live, because this is going to cause you a lot of problems. It's a definite no-no. I recommend having a process that limits the amount of optimization, but at the same time gives you good strategies. My process is called the Strategy Factory. You can do something different, of course, as long as you prove it out with real-time results. That's the key, and that's what I do. I proved it with real-time results. So let's take a look at an entry. This isn't a magic entry. I'm not going to show you it works great in all conditions. But I am going to tell you where it does work and how I determine that. So over the last 5 years, this entry has worked pretty decently. And to get to this point, I had to test a lot of entries. The old saying, before you find your prince, you have to kiss a lot of frogs. So there were a lot of frogs in here. I wasn't kissing them, but you get the point. I tested a lot of entries, and most entries fail. Okay? The way I test these entries are just a certain rule long, the opposite short. Pretty simple. I run it on a wide range of futures markets and bar sizes, and I did it over 5 years. So altogether, well over 500,000 tests, and that probably underestimates how much testing I did to get this entry. What is it? Let's take a look. So it's a 3-condition price pattern. So it says if the high of a certain bar is greater than the current low, and the current low is less than a certain high, and that high is less than a bar before, you're going to go long. And you might say, wow, that looks confusing. If it does, what I would recommend is just program this into like a show me and TradeStation and put in a value for input var1. So let's say 5. So if you did that, then it would say if the high 7 bars ago is less than the current low, and the current low is less than the high 5 bars ago, and the high 5 bars ago is less than the high 6 bars ago, that's a long signal. It might seem kind of weird. I don't think it's any kind of standard candlestick pattern, but something you can look at and try. Well, if you like what you see so far, you're going to love my free algo strategy and more trading information. Just hit the QR code or type in the address you see, and you'll get signed up to my email list and get lots of free algo trading information. Now, here it is within a strategy. The only thing I added to it was I wanted the 200 bar momentum to be up, so you're buying into an uptrend. If you've seen other videos I've done, sometimes I do the opposite of this. So in this case, the 200 bar uptrend helped out. And there are all my conditions. This is TradeStation Easy Language Code, and hopefully you can just kind of look at it and I kind of understand what's going on, because it is pretty simple, and you should be able to program it whatever language you're using. So here's an example. It's great that I show an example of a short trade that was so terrible. But, part of me doing this is to kind of get you grounded in realism, that you're not going to see perfection every time you try an entry. And yeah, this particular trade looks good, but maybe all the other trades you can't see look great, or a lot of them look great. And if it doesn't, all it says is gold 240 minute bars, which is what I'm using here. Maybe that's not the best time to use this particular pattern and entry. So I wanted to show you that, and I specifically wanted to show you one where there was a good losing trade, just to show you how bad this can be sometimes. Alright, so I tried 40 different values of the length, and so that resulted in 40 iterations. So it's kind of a robustness test. I want to see where I'm using it, if most cases it works. And all it does is give me some indication that I might have something good. You might say that sounds kind of flaky. No, this is actually a really good test just to not waste your time. I mean, why go through all the other steps in your process, which might include walk forward testing and all this other stuff, if this simple test doesn't work? That's kind of what I'm looking at here. If the simple test doesn't work, it's probably not worth trying. Here are the results. You can see all the markets it worked on and the bar sizes. Anything with a 1 is where it worked. So soybeans, it worked in every market or every bar size I tested except 720 minutes. And you can see, down at the bottom, copper works with 1440 minutes, but it doesn't work anywhere else. But at least it gives you an idea. There's 30 different markets where this worked, and it worked for something in all the different bar sizes. Most of them tend to be right in this middle. If you look at like 30-minute bars, it doesn't work many times with 30-minute, and there's definitely a reason for that. All right, so here's a strategy I actually took with that entry rule and put some exits with it, did my walk forward testing. This is what it looked like. Not bad. But strategies like this tend to keep going. So I would expect when I'd run this one live, this is the end of November, I would expect it to do something like this. What I wouldn't expect is for it to just kind of go down. Probably wouldn't fail, where if it was an optimized strategy, that's what it might do. Alright, did you notice the entry's pretty simple? It's just 3 different if conditions. There's no filters, no parameters, no excessive rules. I do it symmetrically, long and short. And sometimes I like to do the opposite of what most people think. In this case, I went with the momentum where it was up, but like I said, I also do momentum where it's going down. That's only part of it, though. More testing is required. Here's some of the other tests that I'll run. Some of these are always required. Some of these I run on occasion. But there's more testing. You can't just test the entry like this. And remember, the entries are important, but what's key is the process you use. And I talk about this in a lot of videos, but it's 100% true. There's my process. Feel free to copy it, make your own version of it. As long as it develops good systems, good strategies that work in real time, that's all you can ask. My process does that. Hopefully yours will too. Thanks for watching. I'm Champion Trader Kevin Davey. Have a great day.